Addison returned to Grey Sloan during the October 14 episode of Grey's Anatomy and crossed paths with Meredith. Addison broke down over missing Derek and met Meredith and Derek's kids. Meredith is back in Seattle and has yet to tell Richard about her Minnesota gig. Seattle is experiencing a heat wave, and this gives Amelia the opportunity to push a permanent move on Meredith. Meredith's not budging. Her life is in Seattle. When she gets to the hospital, Meredith has a catch-up session with Hayes. Things aren't going so well with his kids. After all, they are teenagers. Hayes also hints that he's still adjusting to the idea of Meredith being gone half the week in Minnesota. Richard is so excited about his ideas for the residency program, but Meredith still doesn't tell Richard about Minnesota. Addison returns to Grey Sloan. Richard is bringing in someone new for grand rounds with the residents, the one and only Addison Montgomery. The residents do not know the full history of Addison and Meredith. Oh, to be so young and naive. Addison is in Seattle to perform the hospital's first surgical uterine transplant. This woman is the last patient in her trial. One resident will be credited in her paperwork. She picks Schmidt to scrub in on the surgery. During surgery, Addison mentions that Henry is now 8 years old. In the middle of the transplant, the AC goes out. Richard tells her to close up the patient as soon as possible to prevent infection. Addison is determined to finish the surgery for this woman. She just needs an extra set of experienced hands. "Get me Meredith Grey," she says. Meredith and Addison are able to complete the surgery successfully. Winston is able to find a kidney for his patient. When the HVAC goes out, Richard says the patient will have to wait for the next kidney. Winston knows his patient is worsening by the day. He has a kidney now, and this patient deserves it. Owen agrees to perform the surgery and has an idea of how to make it happen. It's Ben's fully serviced van that can serve as an oar. Link and Teddy agree to take a look at the HVAC unit on the roof, but it's a bit more intensive than they thought. When Link gets frustrated, he lets it out to Teddy about Amelia. "I'm in love with her and I don't think she even thinks about me," Link says. He says this is not what he wanted for Scout. Meanwhile, Amelia and Kai have another flirty conversation. Addison cries over losing Derek. In the elevator after surgery, Addison needs a minute. Meredith stops the elevator and Addison begins to cry. "I thought coming back here to Seattle, to Grey Sloan, he'd be here. That I'd be able to feel he was still here. In the city that he loved, with the people that he loved," she says to Meredith. "He's not here," Addison says through tears. Meredith responds, "Addison, he is here. And he's in his children. And they are very real. And I would love for you to come and meet them." Addison tells Meredith to after the big thing she was talking about. Richard will understand. Addison and Meredith hug in the elevator. Meredith finally tells Richard about the job in Minnesota. She's going to have to step back as the head of the residency program, but she'll stay on as chief of general surgery. Meredith thinks the best person for the job is Richard, and he agrees to go back to the role. Amelia and Addison have a heartfelt reunion at the end of the day. Addison comes over to Meredith's house for dinner. She tears up meeting Bailey and Zoa. "Are you Daddy's friend?" Bailey asks. Addison says that she was and he called her Addie. That's what Bailey and Ola call her now, too.